Hi, Angie. Thank you for coming and bear with me. I am adjusting the camera. Oh, I think that got it. I hope. Hopefully that got it. How are you today? Whoa, that didn't have it. I'm sorry. Oh, Lordy B. Okay. Well, Phooey, I'm going to set the camera way down. And I am so sorry. It's not supposed to just pop out like that. Okay, we're going to move the camera back. And I am through playing with the camera for today. Hopefully we are right side up. Yes, we are. Okay. I'm glad you're doing good. So this is the cover that I made from a 6x9. I'm going to give people a chance to get in here, and it's got a magnetized closure. So that's what we're going to work on making. Probably not a purple one, though, because I don't want another purple cover. But we're going to work on it. So what have you been busy working on? Hi, Dee Dee. How are you? Thank you for coming. Hi, Tina. I mailed your package today. Thank you for coming. I'll have your tracking number to you in just a little bit. A phone book. So are you altering a phone book, Angie, or are you making a phone book? Like an address book thing? That sounds interesting. Hi, Maddie. I got your package mailed. I'm going to send you your tracking information, and I'll have the email zip files to you later. And thank you for coming. A phone book with tags. Ooh, Angie. That sounds cool. Maddie, you're funny. So we're going to go ahead and get busy. So what we're going to do, this is a 9x12 envelope. This is the journal that's going to go in here. It's all printed and ready to go. And there's a magnet under here, and there's a magnet under this little metal embellishment. And that's the flower that I made. So, and this is a hummingbird journal for Tsunami Rose. So we're going to put this aside with all its little stuffs. I need to make sure I have everything on camera. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is this little metal thing has to go. So I just do this to it and grab pliers and just kind of gently nudge it. Thank you, Angie. And try not to pinch your finger like I just did between your little plier things. Boy, these are down here good. It didn't take me, it wasn't this hard to get the last one out. But you don't want this on here because you just don't need it. Okay, this you can throw away. And then what you want to do is grab a craft knife. And we are going to gently open the seam of the envelope. I also heard a heat gun works good for this. We may try that because I don't want to tear it. Okay, so we're going to heat the glue up. Now that does work. Can you tell I've not done this part? Last one I just was able to get cut open real easy. So, okay, we got that part. Excuse me. And the reason that we're doing this is because if I don't glue the whole thing down, I end up with air pockets. So, we don't want air pockets. So my method is we're going to open it up and glue it down. You can also put cardstock in here just to make it stiffer. I did not do that. Or did I? I'll have to check that cover. I'll check. Nope, no cardstock. Okay. We have it open relatively painlessly. Okay. The magnet goes on after. So what we want to do first is we're going to glue this back together. We're going to put a magnet and then glue this down. And then we're going to paint it. And I'm just going to use good old Elmer's glue. Hi, Patty. Thank you for coming. How are you today? Thank you, Maddie. Yes, you did. You made it, Patty. Yay. Okay, so I'm just going to squirt a liberal amount of Elmer's on here. And then we're going to get a paintbrush. And we're just going to spread all the glue around. Now, I wanted my flap to perform as my closure, so I didn't glue the flap down. You can glue the flap down, but I'm using it as the closure on mine. Okay, so we now need some Elmer's on here. And you get a magnet. And my magnets attack all my little things. That's kind of funny. And I'm going to go in and get a second magnet. Now I'll just let all my little things pile back up on there so I can just put them all in the drawer. Okay. So now we're going to glue this down over here. It's all on camera. That's good. And this magnet doesn't matter how it goes down. The second magnet is what matters. And I know the middle is right about where the seam is. So this is going to get a little tacky glue and our magnet, a little tacky glue, and then I'm going to close the flap. so that when we fold this and this becomes our closure and we have a magnet, it'll work. Okay. Now I'm going to get one of these scraper things. And make sure I have no air bubbles in this. And I am not worried about base coating the envelope in any kind of way as far as painting goes. Okay. So let's see. I am having a good weekend. Thank you for asking, Patty. Hi, Sherry. How are you? Okay. So while our glue dries, and it won't take it but a minute, I want to talk about the pages. I'm going to set this aside off our brown paper and put my glue brush back in the water. The papers. The papers came full size. I made this paper. But the ones in the kit, let me get to one that's in the kit. These came full size. What I do is I put 2 to a page and I print them. Normally, a journal would print this way. I put them 2 to a page and I print them one on top of the other, full size it, cut the page in half, and that's the size of the journal, roughly. So that's the way they come about. Like for this postcard page, if y'all wanted to make something like this, I took 2 postcards and did the same thing. I set them up 2 to a page, one on top of the other, full-sized it, and then cut it down. So it can be done. It's just that's how you would set it up to do that if you wanted to take and make a mini. And you can do that with any kind of page, whether it be in a kit, it's a full page, a free download page. Any pages will work. Thank you. So I made this one, the one with these little hummingbirds. I made it and the background. This is a postcard from the Tsunami Rose Hummingbird postcards. That's a hummingbird page from the kit. Another postcard page that it's a postcard from the kit. That's from the kit, one of the pages. I made this one with the little hummingbirds in the circles, and that's upside down. Let's turn that around. There we go. Now they're right. Glad I saw that before I sewed this in. And then there's those ones. I love hummingbirds, and this kit is gorgeous. Another one of those with purple, and that's a sponge painted purple. Pinks. And then there's that one. This one, another postcard page from the kit. Well, I blew up the postcards. Another page from her kit. And the black lines happen sometimes when you resize, and I'm going to put lace over it, so I'm not worried about it. I made this page with the little hummingbirds on it. This is from the kit with the little hummingbirds. And then this is a pocket that I made. It's going to open at the top. And it's got poems on each side about the hummingbird. Another one of the postcard pages I made. And then that page. As well as some embellishment things for when we go to make it. And see, I like how that just folds over. And there's room, because I know it's going to get fluffy. There's room for it to be fluffy and still close, which is good. So, let me check on chat real quick. Thank you, Maddie. The ones that I said are mine are my digis. So, hang on. This is my digi. Well, the poem, I copied the poem. It's not mine. I did put it on the paper, and it was much smaller. I blew it up and put it on this paper. This is mine. The ones with the little hummingbirds in the circles. Where's they at? I have to find it. This one is mine, and because I trimmed it, they were full circles before I trimmed the paper. But yes, that's mine. That's my digi. They're not up yet because I just made these ones, but that's how it's supposed to be. And that's different background, still my digi. I think that's all of them. Well, there's this one with the little hummingbirds in each corner. That's my digi. And I've been trying to make my digis something to go in the kits that I'm using so that it's not, so that there's me. And there's the circles with the hummingbirds in it. The poems are not mine. I shrank them down. They were free download on the internet from Pinterest. Okay, but those are my digis, the ones I said. Oh, I know. I love the hummingbirds. The hummingbird kit is from Tsunami Rose. It's actually 3 hummingbird kits. They were 3 pages each, which is why I filled it out with postcards from her. The hummingbird postcards are also from Tsunami Rose. And then there are hummingbird mason jars, which I shrank down to use as tags in the journal. So that's all from Tsunami Rose. It's all purchasable. Mine will be purchasable once I get them some other stuff done to them. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Patty. Yeah, they're not on the Zibbit yet. The rose ones are on the Zibbit. Those ones are not yet. I was going to say something else. I don't remember. I don't remember. But I am working on a lot more digis. Oh, I was going to tell y'all my hummingbird story. That's what I was going to say. So, let's see. How long has it been? My dad died in July of 2015. And he'd been sick for about 6 months when he passed. Had not seen a hummingbird all year. The day after Daddy passed, we're sitting at the kitchen table, and Mother's front door is straight across from her table. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the front door. No hummingbird feeders anywhere to be found. We didn't put one out yet because it was only at the end of July. We didn't have one out. Had not seen a hummingbird. I haven't seen one since either. Not up here, not here on the mountain. But that day we're sitting at the table. It was probably about lunchtime. And outside the door, there was a hummingbird fluttering right in front of the window. And it stayed there for the longest time. And then it just disappeared. And it was gone. And I love hummingbirds. And I thought that was a sign that Daddy was okay. Everything was good. Because we haven't seen one since. Not a hummingbird since that day. So I thought that was just a good sign. But that's my hummingbird story. But I do love hummingbirds. Okay, good, Maddie. And I don't have the link to the Zibbit store on here yet, but it will be as soon as the video processes. So now we're going to paint this. Sponge painting is not something that can be taught, unfortunately. I would say practice on something. I've done it enough. I'm not going to even worry about practicing. I decided to make this one kind of like a coffee dyed brownie, kind of light brownie kind of color. It's all about layering when you sponge paint. So, start first with a really dark brown color. Oh, glue yucky. Or paint yucky. I have a plastic baggie here to put my paint on. for this, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to dip in the paint and just sponge. And I'm not trying to coat the whole thing. I'm just trying to get a good background going. Doesn't matter if manila envelope peeks through. We can count it as a color. I'm going to scoot that back this way. But thank you, Patty. Now, you all wanted, what was I going to put up in the store? Oh, the trifold. The trifold that I used to make my trifolds is a free digital. It's free on Pinterest. I'm going to put it in the Foxy's Creations group file. Free. So Foxy's Followers Secret Group. That way you all can download it and print it. So that we can all work on the trifold together. When we get ready to do that. Or I can pull it up on Pinterest and post a link. But I don't think there's a problem with, since I'm not selling it, y'all just downloading it from there. We could also do an envelope trifold, which just means you need 3 envelopes. And it would still be a mini. Okay, now I'm going to do the flap. We want the flap done. That's why I'm not worried about the glue. This will moisten the glue, but then it's just going to dry right back up. Okay, so there's our base color. And I'm going to come in and get some of this. Even though I said it doesn't matter, I'm going to cover up some of it. And so you got dark spots and lighter spots, and that's what you're looking for. Darks and lights, darks and lights. Because what's going to hopefully happen, and where this is, where the glue was, it's not dark enough. What I'm expecting to happen, I'm just going to put it that way, is that when you're done, this becomes your veining, or what looks like the marbling, the veins in the marble. And you could start with the background, painting it all white if you wanted, or all a cream color. I just say don't worry about it. Okay. And that's going to dry pretty quick, but this, I'm just not happy with how this up here is looking because it's from the glue on the envelope. I'm trying to get it darker. We'll just make it heavier. There. Once that dries, that'll be cool. So I'm going to give that a second to dry. We're going to flip it over and do the other side. Kind of looks like a hot mess. Oh, Angie, I know. I still, when July comes, it's really hard. He died July 31st. So Father's Day was great in 2015, but Father's Day's hard. It's hard. It's still hard. And it'll be 4 years or 4, just July. So I understand. I do understand. Oh, you're welcome, Maddie. I have butterfly stories too, so. I have a big blue butterfly story. I stayed at my friend Ramona's while this is drying. I'll tell this one. I stayed at my friend Ramona's for 2 weeks it was the beginning, it was end of June to the beginning of July. Hi, Tanya. Thank you for coming. And it was 2 years ago to watch her cats. They went to Germany. Her mom lives in Germany. And so I went and stayed with their cats for 2 weeks and did house sitting and took care of the cats. They're 80 miles away, so it wasn't a matter of I could just go feed cats and come home. I stayed there. And because I smoke, can't smoke in Ramona's house, I took a lawn chair and made me a little spot on her porch outside. And so I was sitting outside smoking one day, and they have, where their house is set up, I was sitting on the porch. Around the corner of the house was this huge, big, bright blue. I mean, I haven't seen a butterfly that color. It was this really pretty, vibrant, bright blue with black lines. And it was gorgeous. And it was like this big. And it came around the house, fluttered around out front, and stayed. Fluttered in, fluttered in, fluttered around. And then it disappeared for a while, I guess, because I went back in, did my thing. When I came back out later, sat back down again, back around the corner of the house came this butterfly again. And big. I mean, it was like this big. Big butterfly. And it was there for 2 days. I don't know the lifespan of a butterfly, but it was there for 2 days. I would come outside and the butterfly would come around and fly around out in front of the yard in front of me and fly toward me and fly away and then go back around the corner of the house. And for 2 days, this happened every time I went out. Here comes this butterfly. And if you look up the meaning of a butterfly, some people believe that it symbolizes something about the afterlife. I would have to look it back up. But it was really what it symbolizes. And I was like, that's kind of cool. So again, I thought, because I was having a hard time at that point. It's coming up on the anniversary of Daddy's death and that thing. And I was going through a hard time. And I was like, that's why the blue butterfly. Because I've never seen one since then. I had never seen one before that. And it was just this really gorgeous turquoisey kind of blue butterfly. Oh, wow, Angie. See, I think they find ways to communicate. I do. Yep, Tina, that's me. Butterflies. And if I see any other hummingbirds. So we're going to flip this over. I have another butterfly story. But I'm going to save that one for another time. Just remind me. Because I want to make a butterfly journal. I want to make my own digis and make a butterfly journal. So we're just doing the same thing on this side that we did on the other side. We're just making a spongy. And the trick to sponge painting is you turn the sponge so that you don't get the same shapes going the same direction. That's the main thing. That's why you see me just sitting here pouncing and twisting, which I'm not twisting it on the paper. I'm just turning my wrist while it's in the air. That's the main thing with sponge painting. Pouncing and turning. I did a whole living room this way. Not with these colors, but I did a whole living room. And people would come in and look at my walls and try to find the seams in the walls. I'm like, there's no seams. It's not wallpaper. I also did it with a much bigger sponge. It's all relative. But it makes really cool backgrounds. And the thing is, you could do 3 different envelopes this way. They're not all going to look the same. They're going to be different. Even if you use the same colors, they're just going to come out different. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to check on chat. Hi, Aaron. Thank you for coming. Hi, Patricia. How are you? Patty, you sponge painted furniture. Oh, wow. Hi, Aaron. Thanks for coming and lurk away. I've been lurking in people's too. Okay, so we're going to call that done, and it's almost dry already. That's the great thing. Sponge paint don't take long to dry. Now, I'm going to get a wet paper towel from my little paper towel bucket, and I'm going to wipe off my baggie. And now I'm going to dry it off. Now what we need, and I'm not even going to worry about the sponge. I have a fawn color, which is a lighter brown. Now this I'm going to put out in 3 dots, whoops, close together. A color that I mixed up, which is white, brown, and something else to make this color. I think gray. And it may even have a little black in it, but it's stopped up. So I'm just going to pour some carefully right there. And then I'm going to take the white and I'm going to make a little circle of white next to those. Now what I'm going to do is carefully not dip the sponge so that it gets all 3 colors on it. And let me get the paint crumbles off. And we're just going to start sponging. Let me move my paper. Now, see, I see that this is kind of still dark, kind of right here. So I'm going to come back with some more paint and kind of try to lighten that up just a little bit. And you end up with some darker looking marbling stuff and some lighter. It looks really kind of cool. I should have picked that paint back up. I'll get it. There we go. Now, if you wanted it to have a more like shiny metallic-y look instead of white, use pearl paint. You could use gold on this. I've done marbling with black and gold. That's gorgeous, by the way. And so that's what we have. Oh, you can't really light. Hi, little sister Cheryl. How are you? Hi, Dana. How are you today? Thank you for coming. Coffee ice cream colors. Oh, it is. And see, I lost most of the dark brown. So what you can do, if you're wanting some more of that dark, which I do, I kind of want the dark, just a little bit. I'm going to put it just on the corner and dab it off. And then I'm just going to, and now this I'm going to try to blend a little bit. So that you get, and I wasn't going for speckles, so I'm going to put it on the edge. Maybe get some of that with it. Here we go. And now I can put just a little bit of dark back in there and add some depth. So get some dark, get some of this lighter grayish brownish color. And again, I'm not trying to cover up what I just did. I'm just trying to add layers and depth. And there is no right or wrong in sponge painting. That's another reason I like it. There's no rules. Just do. I love the whole crafting there's no rules thing. Because I'm a rule follower generally. And so this means I don't have to do that because there's no rules. And if you get a little too dark, we can go back in with the other colors and add some more layers. Which I'm thinking I may have to do. I may have gone a little overboard with the dark brown again. Pick up some of this gray color, and I need more brown. So because I think it got a little dark, I'm going to go back to all three colors carefully. And I'm going to pounce it off on my paper first. I'm just going to lighten up some of the darker areas. But I still want it to peek kind of through. And then when we varnish over this to make it shiny, that's when it's going to start looking really cool. I mean, this already looks cool. Oh, that didn't have enough browns in it. Let's try that again. And if y'all can hear Muffet snoring, I apologize. She's under the table. Now, I am really happy with that. What do you guys think? Let me see if I turn this light off. Oh, that doesn't help because the other light. Let me turn it back on. I do see where that just needs to be. I'm not going to put any more paint. I'm just going to try to tone it down a little bit, that fawn color. There we go. It's still there, but now it's toned. Hi, Linda. Thank you for coming. Hi, Tammy. And Tammy, I got your package mailed today. You'll be getting the tracking soon. Well, after this. Yeah, I've actually used kitchen sponges because I didn't want to pay for a sea sponge. Okay, so we're going to let this dry. But look at the difference between this and this. Remember, that's how we started. And now we have this. Isn't that gorgeous? And we are going to varnish it. But I'm going to attack it with the heat gun for just a quick second. And I'll put all of Tsunami Rose's links as well below the video when it gets put up. Just remember, if you do get the DigiKits from her, they're going to come full-size pages. And then you just need to put 2 of them to a page in your print program. So I think it's okay to flip it over. There's something there. There we go. It's dry enough that we should be able to flip it over with no problems. And now we're back to the yucky. But we're going to make it pretty. Same thing. We're going to dip and get all 3 colors and just pounce. Turn and pounce. And because I'm not spinning it, it's not really blending the colors per se. It's stuck. And I do go back if I see that there's like sponge marks. I want to get rid of those. I need a little bit more white in here. And I'm just going to kind of mute it down. And it picked up something. There we go. And we're going to go back with the dark brown again. And this is the side of the flap that had the sticky on it. But see, it's working fine now. We got rid of all the sticky with that first coat. This needs more lights, less dark. And I'm just going to add a couple of more little pieces up here before we go back in with dark. And that's where that little gripper thing was at. Okay, that's still too brown, too that tawny looking brown. That's going to change when we go over it with some of the dark. Looking very pretty. Let me check chat. Hey, Misty. Yep, we need to go to bed. Thank you for coming. Oh, I must have missed Nick. Hi, Sue. How are you? Thank you for coming. How are you doing, Sue? I hadn't seen you or heard from you in a while. I hope everything's okay. Oh, and hi, Madison. Strawberry smoothies. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Oh, Sue, I'm glad to hear that. I know it can be hard. I know. Now, I saw people saying hi to Nikki. Did I miss Nikki? I'm going back. I don't see him. He's gone. He's out running around doing errands. So I thought he might be in here. He'll be home sometime. I hear that, Angie. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to put some brown out here again. Same thing we did on the other side. We're going to go back in and add some of our brown. Oh, I need to put out more of that color. So we're going to pick up some brown, pick up some of this grayish brown, tapping it off over there a little bit. And we're just going to start adding it to get that dark back in there. And I think I probably should add a little white to that. Too dark for me. Well, I like that though. So I'm going to just pick up this over here and grab a little tiny bit of white. It's just layering in depth. I made a clock like this once with greens and gold and black. It was really cool. Except I used a feather to draw the veins on. We're not drawing veins on this today. We need a little bit more white and a little bit more of that gray. There we go. We're just going to go right over that dark with it. Mute it and push it back. And this over here, I don't know what happened. It like lost some stuff. There we go. That's much better looking. So that brown and a tiny dab of white. Misty, I loved your video you did with the Happy Mail and stuff. That was awesome. Thank you. It was an awesome video. Y'all, if you're not subscribed to each other, go on and support each other. There's some wonderful talent in this room, guys. There really is. We're all a bunch of talented people. And everybody does stuff that's different and brings different things to the table. I love watching Maddie and Madison. Y'all do some awesome stuff, Maddie. You and Madison. And those file folder thingy doogie, whatever they were, whatchamacallit things. I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to make one of those. Those were really cool. Y'all need to check that stuff out. And you made I don't know what you called it. It was like a loaded pocket taggy thingy, bobby thing. And can we tell that I got out the dictionary this morning and looked up some really interesting words. But it was oh, Maddie, I watched the video. It was like this a tag or something, and it all came apart, which was really kind of cool. But it was like different layers of pockets, and that was awesome. I'm going to make some of those too. Because I was thinking in a full-size journal as like a pocket in the front of the journal, that would be cool. Because you could put a bunch of like extra ephemera in the journal for whoever bought it to use. Wherever they wanted to put it in their journal. I picked up the wrong brown. Let me stamp that off. I don't like it. I got some of that fawn color again. We're trying to kind of mute that back a little bit. But it's all okay. And I need more white. I'm going to have to dump more white out. And y'all notice I buy these paints and then I buy white. In this big, big bottle. I buy black the same way. Because I use the white to make homemade gesso. I use the white to make homemade modeling paste or whatever that stuff, texture paste. So, because I use a lot of white for other things, I buy it in a bigger bottle. Plus, it makes a good base coat for things. This is looking really pretty. I want just a little bit of dark up in here. And the way I put it down, I needed to go back. We want a little bit of white in this little spot. And I'm not trying to cover anything. I'm just trying to add more texture. Sometimes your sponge lines can look like little veins. So they're kind of cool. And Misty, Mac Jewelry, also makes awesome stuff. Y'all check her out too. And Sherry, your paperclip video yesterday, if you're still here, was awesome. As part of the Art Bar Hop, awesome. So y'all really need to check each other out. There we go. I like this. And they kind of look, they're very similar. They're not going to be an exact match because, again, That's hard to do. But our inside cover matches our outside cover. Or this is actually the inside. This is going to be the outside. And once this dries, I may go back over some of this area a little bit. But we got to get this to dry first. And let me check on chat. Okay, Misty, thank you for coming. You have a great day. Yep, that's when sponge painting was, back in the late 80s. That's when I did the living room. I did the whole living room, and then in the dining room, which was off the living room, we drew a border. So the bottom half of the wall was blue. The border was sponge painted, the blue mauve. Here you go. These were 80s. Blue, mauve, and cream. And the top was cream. The hallway was cream colored. And then our bedroom was blue. The spare bedroom was mauve. Bless any man that wanted to stay at our house because he had to sleep in a mauve bedroom. And the bathroom was mauve and gray. And the kitchen was mauve and blue and country. It was country blue and mauve with geese. Right, the large folio, Maddie. And the loaded, yep, with the coordinating embellishments. Exactly. Y'all need to watch those videos. They were cool. I'm going to make that stuff. And I really think, like I said, the mini, let me scroll back up and see what you called that. Mini file folder. That would be good in the front of a journal, loaded with ephemera that whoever got the journal would be able to use. Angie's being loud. No, you cannot have enough white paint. Cheryl, that's funny. From the hop yesterday, I know. They were busy. Okay, let me heat this up with the heat gun to get it dry so we can flip it and fix that one side. There's our magnet. Oh, you know what we need to do? What we need to do while we have our paint is, let me find some scrap cardstock. I'm going to tear off a little piece because that's where our magnet's going to go. So what we have to do here is figure out, okay, so that needs to go like that in order to work. Otherwise, they're going to repel each other. So I'm going to take glue. It's closed. Now I'm going to have to redo my magnet to make sure I get it right. Put a little glue around here. That's not how it goes, though. Okay, that's the side I need down. So that's the side that's going to get glued over the little hole. And I'm going to take this piece of paper. And we are going to glue it here. And then we're going to sponge paint it. That's why I said, oh, we need to do that. While we're here, we also are going to put one on the other side. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I only got a couple of them, too. What we're making is a 6x9 envelope cover for a mini journal. That's what we're making. And we are doing a sponge painted one. And the great thing about doing it sponge painted is I don't have to worry about this running if it gets wet. I don't have to worry about, I can definitely go over it with gloss medium, and I don't have to worry about, is it going to run? And that kind of thing, because it's not, it's painted. Oh, I'm behind too, Patty. So we got this. So now what we're going to do, and see, it's not even the right color. It's got pinks and blues in it. It's fine. We're going to take some of the white, the gray, and we're just going to go straight to the brown, tap it off, and just dabby. And come down a little bit here. And go back in over here where the white was, or here, actually. And see, you can't even see where that is. It blends in so perfect. And it's glued down, and now we're going to heat gun it. If I can get my heat gun off the little hook over here. Try that out. I got rid of too much of my white. There we go. I am much happier with that. It's still a little damp. And I'm not touching where that magnet is because I know that's hot. Okay, we're going to let it cool off for a minute. And I know that's hot. Still feels a little damp. Now, the nice thing is when this is completely dry and when we have it sealed, it's almost like a piece of cardstock. We have to cover this little spot up. And we have to sponge paint it. And we're just going to go back with this and the white and some of that tan color. Tap it off a little bit. Just kind of bring it down into what we already did. I'll pick up a little bit more white. It's kind of like those hidden pockets I make. It just disappeared into the complete background. And I'm not worried about that little edge because when I go to shellac it, or I'm going to put my polyacrylic on it. No, we're going to do triple thick kind of stuff. That'll get pushed down, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. I do not like these lines over here, though. Get some of the white, touch of the grayish color, and a tiny touch of the brown. tap it off. And I wanted to come in over these weird spots. I think that still needs a little bit more of the white and gray. Right up here. Kind of like, yeah, I like that much better. Much more of a marbly-ish look. So now I have a cover, and we're going to need a journal to go in this cover. We'll do that, but we're going to work on the other one first. I just didn't want to come on here and go, here's the cover, and not give you all any idea how to make it. So this right here, I'm not worried about. You can see that. That's going to get pushed down when we put the triple thick stuff over it. And I'm going to use the Mod Podge. I'll show you. Whoa. Sorry, guys. Are we right? Yes. I grabbed the cord. Oh, stop telling me to rotate my device. What if I do it again? Okay, it's just going to say rotate device, and it's rotated. I'm fine with how it is. We're going to be using this Mod Podge Super Gloss Brilliant Finish. It does need to dry overnight before you can, so we can't just, when we do one side, we can't just flip it over and do the other one. It does require that it dries overnight. It's a nice gloss finish, and it will make this look more like marble than it does. Okay, guys, it's wanting me to rotate my phone, and it has dimmed my screen. So if everybody will close their eyes for just a moment, I'm going to fix the phone because I don't want to make anybody dizzy. Okay, we're back. And that's my messy back of my desk back there. Well, we're going to be back as soon as I get the phone back in the little thing. Oh, no. Ah, really? There we go. Now, see if I can get it to stay back up. Nope, of course not. But we are right. Okay. Everybody can look again. I'll move stuff back because the camera shifted. There. Now we're back. Well, can I pull it forward? Yes. I'm sorry, you guys. I hit the charging cord, and it messed everything all up. And, yeah, you can't see the very bottom of the envelope. There we go. So, okay, making sure I didn't get that. We can coat one side of it. Now, this bag, don't get rid of this if you're using this as your blotting paper. You can sponge this whole thing and make it into something. So, it's got a good start. That's how I'm looking at it. It's got a good start. Bye, Angie. Okay, Cheryl, what's your question? Oh, I'm going to pull this. Hang on. It's going to come. It's about to come back out again. Oh, no phone. My tripod's not cooperating with me today. And then why is it? Because it's tilted wrong. Okay, I'm going to have to. I see what the problem is. Oops. I hope I don't drop you guys. Okay, I'm done playing with this as soon as I get it tightened back up. Technical difficulties during crafting. There we go. That should fix it. For now. Now I'm going to scoot everything back again. Yes, I put this one This one here, see how shiny this is? It has 2 coats of that on it. This envelope bends. I did not put it on the inside. I am going to, because I want this to be finished as well. And it feels really cool. But yeah, it's got 2 coats on it. It bends. It doesn't crack. It's very flexible. That's what I coated this with. And I am going to also do the inside of that. Because it feels so soft and buttery like, and nice. And next week, or not next week, Tuesday, we'll be to the point where we can put this little metal embellishment on here. Okay. Oh yeah, it's really cool because it's very flexible. You could also use Minwax polyacrylic. It is also very flexible. But the only of that I have is a semi-gloss, and I wanted it to be nice and shiny because I'm trying to get that marbly look. And I think we are good to go. Now, let's see. This is the inside, and you know that because this is where the seam is right here. So, I'm not going to worry about folding it yet, but I want to make sure. Did I not get the magnet in there? Oh, I just got paint. Yes, the magnet is right. It's not like rejecting itself. That's a good thing. So, we're going to go to this side. This is the side this is the outside. So we're going to Mod Podge it first. I think my camera just sank down really low. This is just not my day with this tripod. What happened? Well, I'll have to work on it later. As long as my brush will fit under here. Can y'all see okay? Or we got shadows that we shouldn't have? I got shadows that we don't usually have right here, but I may have to. That helps a little bit. Okay, so back to the brush. I tried moving over some. I may have to put the camera back where I had it originally. Okay. So I just put it on the brush, kind of liberally, and we are just going to brush it. Now, I'm probably not doing this the correct way. There's probably a right and wrong way for this, but this is how I do it. I put it on here. My main thing is get a coat on here. And then, let me move my paint stuff out of the way. I come back the other direction lightly. I'm not pressing. I'm just very lightly dragging the brush across the top. It smooths it out. This also is self-leveling, so it's going to smooth itself out as it dries. This just makes sure that if I have any great big globs, they're gone. Now, because I know I had that, I'm going to pounce on it to blend that paper in right there. I'm pressing. Okay. Then I'm just going to feather back over it again. And then I will generally pick it up and put it in the light so I can see if there's any, like, I know right here there's a really thick spot I can go back over. So that's what I'm looking for. Where's thick spots that need to be maybe flattened out a little bit? It is going to get another coat. I'm not really worried. About brush strokes because I'm going to brush it the other way next time. And that looks really good to me. It's all evenly on there. So now that just needs to dry, and it takes about overnight to dry. Completely dry. So we really can't do anything else with this because it's a done deal. Except set it somewhere to dry. So I'm going to put it over there to dry, out of the way. And this, I'm going to put my brush back in the water. But now with this, you could just, let me grab my little my palette back. Take the rest of your paint and just sponge on here, say your thing. It is the background paper, because this will make a pretty cover. Put this on cardstock, cereal box, make tags out of it. It's a good background once you get it all painted. And I'm not worried about getting it on the desk because I have acrylic that will clean up really easy. So we're just going to dabble on here. Get into these 6 spots where I was sponging my sponge off. And this is packing paper. It comes free when you order stuff. So I use it as a drop cloth and then make stuff. You can also make faux leather out of it. Is that something y'all would want to see, is the faux leather thing? It does not have a strong smell. And it does dry clear. It dries clear and it does not have a strong smell at all. I'm going to tell you, tacky glue smells stronger. To me, tacky glue has a bad odor. That doesn't really have an odor. And I've had that bottle for over a year and it still works just fine. And we need more paint. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay, no, I'm not going to do crazy stuff. I was just going to put it on the palette, on the paper. We're not going to do that. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Last time I did crazy stuff, we ended up with googly-eyed puzzle pieces. And they were cute. I got to make more of those. And y'all, just so you guys know, if you go to the shop, the exhibit store, I had to change the prices on some of this stuff. After mailing today, because I like to give tracking numbers. So because of that, I had to raise prices because a $2 item with $3 shipping, and I was doing shipping free, I can't do that. So I changed the prices. I raised them up a little bit. Shipping is still free. Technically, the price includes shipping now, is what it is. So if you go to the store and you see that something is different, that's why. I just want to be upfront with you guys what happened. So that's fine. But that way, if you see, there's a difference and you kind of wondering what happened, that's what happened. The post office happened. And we're going to check on that Monday as well, because we went to a different post office and I don't know that they know what they're talking about. And you'd think all post offices are created equal, but they're not. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my paper around. Won't this make a really pretty journal cover? Or something. ATCs. Tags for in that journal. Ooh, that would be awesome. Put this on a manila file folder and make tags out of it. That would go in that journal because they would match. I mean, at least the background part of it matches. I wouldn't say maybe use them straight forward. Hi, Abril. How are you? Thank you for coming. I just got paint on the phone. The foxy faces are, the crazy stuff is always fun, isn't it? Oh, I have some crazy stuff coming. Because I don't know what I'm doing. And that's how I'm going to get away with all this, y'all. I'm just going to say I don't know. I'm still new. I don't know. I got some oil pastels a while back. I played with them. I don't understand how they're supposed to work, so I'm going to preface this with that. However, I made some really cool things with them. I don't think they're supposed to probably do what I did. When we get to making the little index card a day book, which is on the list, which we're going to make before June starts so that we have our book made. So when we do the iCat a day thing, the book is made. And we can just, our backgrounds will be in there. I want to make mine out of the oil pastels. And it worked really cool how I did it. And they came out awesome looking. People that I've seen work with them didn't do this technique. So that's why I'm not sure you're supposed to do this technique. But yeah, that's what my technique was. It involved baby oil. It involved sponges, oil pastels, and paper. That's all I'm saying. Because you got to make it work. I thought they would work kind of like gelatos, which I've never used those either. I've just seen videos. It don't work like that. And we are now dancing on the ceiling because they cut me off. I will rotate the camera. And we're back. You know what I was saying? I think I watched too much YouTube. I'm so glad to hear that, Abril. I know. Shipping is horrible. No, it was a real post office, Brenda. Flag and all. And he said it didn't. This is what got me. It doesn't matter if they fit through the slot. Really? Because that's what we all keep being told. As long as they fit through that slot, it's one price. If they don't, then you pay package prices. I don't think that guy knows what he's doing. I really don't. This is really pretty. And so it could be a cover for a journal. It could be background for ATCs. It could be so many different things once it dries. And to think it was our drop cloth for our book cover. So, I mean, that's gorgeous looking. And I would coat it the same way as well. Right. Right, Brenda. That's true. Going through PayPal to print your labels. Okay. So we made the cover. Now here's what I noticed. I'm going to pull the cover back over here. I'm just not going to lay it down. This is way lighter than this. Although this is still a little wet. I like both. I like the light one and I like this. And I have ideas for a journal that this would be great on. I downloaded a kit from TLC Creates on Etsy. It's an architecture. She's got what she calls basics. And if you look at her basics, they're all coffee dyed. This is an architecture one. And I had found some really old pictures of buildings. And then I saw this architecture kit, and I'm like, with coffee dyed backgrounds, and it's like the outline of the old buildings. I'm like, oh, that would be awesome to do together. So this would probably be an awesome kind of journal to do that on. Oh, with a bit. Oh, you know what? This would be. I have what looks like a brick stencil. Looks like bricks. Can you imagine putting that on here and just highlighting it with like red brick here and there? And like this would be your mortar-y stuff. Oh, that would be pretty. See, this is how my mind goes, guys. And it never stops, which is why I don't sleep. Because my mind won't shut off. I see something and like 50 million ideas pop in my head. You wouldn't need a postage scale, really. You just any. I got a really cheap scale, inexpensive, at Walmart. As long as it measures in grams and ounces, you're good. So it doesn't have to be a postage scale. Yeah, that's what he was saying. Yeah, no sleep some nights. I'm an insomniac. And I'm glad I got the craft room now because I can come in here and it doesn't bother my husband because the lights are in. They're when I was in the kitchen and the living room and kitchen are right there. That light goes all over. It just bounces. Plus, it's a white kitchen, so it looks way brighter than it is. But being I can come in here and it's out of, it's off the hallway. It's not so bright, even though it's bright in here. And I don't bother anybody. I can craft at night if I want. And I like that. I should start doing lives like in the middle of the night just to see who else is up. I thought about it. Going live at like 3 o'clock in the morning, let's craft who's up. Right. Well, the Roses was the furthest one, and it was going to California. And it was in a 6x9 envelope. Yeah, Stacy does do the late night thing. I know. I've been lurking. I know I'm up, and I'm always surprised. I watch this one lady. Her name is Sherry McMillan, and right at Christmas, she put up a little tiny tree in her craft room on a desk. She turned her computer on and aimed it at the tree. The title of the video was "Watch the Christmas Tree." That was the title. She played the computer was aimed at it. The live was going 6 hours of live on YouTube of a Christmas tree blinking. The chat was hilarious on that video. She said, number one, why is a video of a Christmas tree getting more views than a crafting video? Because her crafting videos didn't get as many views as her tree. Number two, she's like, I guess her people were worried about her. The sounds y'all heard in the hallway were the dogs going up and down the hall. The hubster got up once. No, I wasn't ever coming in the room. Did you read the title? And I was busting out laughing because she was hilarious. Because it's like, where is she? Because in the chat, most of the chat was, where is Sherry? Do y'all think she's coming? What happened? And it's Watch a Christmas Tree. What's the title? She's like, I don't know why y'all thought I was coming. It said to watch a Christmas tree. But she said that what was really funny was if you put up a chat room, doesn't matter what the video is, people who are up late at night and want to talk will find a live video to do it on, where there's a chat room available. So it was just funny. And I sat there and lurked, and there were like 4 people in chat constantly. Yeah, I do like the flat rate envelopes and boxes and everything because it doesn't go by weight. If it fits in there, that's what it costs. If it fits, that's the cost. And I like that. So, guys, I think the only thing, let me move this because it's going to have to dry. So what we're going to do next is on Tuesday, I have the papers. I have them lined up how I want them to go. I have embellishments. Okay, guys, I am back. Sorry about that, but we're dancing on the ceiling again. My app froze completely. And I apologize. And I lost a lot of people. But I'm back. And hi, Joe. So I'm back. Drawers under the washer and dryer, Brenda. Oh my gosh. So what we're going to do on Tuesday is we are going to sew the pages in. Between now and then, I am going to seal the inside cover. Also, if I hadn't put a magnet here, so this is an option if you go to make one of these, and you might could still do it because the magnet's on top of here. You can slit this little tiny piece off, and this would be a pocket. I didn't want to make mine have those pockets. I would rather put something in here that's a pocket, and I may do that. I don't know yet what I'm doing inside the covers. That didn't sound right. But anyway, but yeah, we're going to embellish. I've even made out of misprints. These were misprints, and I cut them, and they're going to become corner tucks on pages. Oh, Brenda. So we've got a lot of embellishments. I've made, last month with Tsunami Rose, we had library cards. So I shrunk some of those down to become mini tags for in here that we need to embellish and that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do on Tuesday. We're going to sew the pages in and start the embellishment process. Anybody have any questions? And I'm going to have my camera fixed or not like right down on top of the desktop. I messed with it when I moved stuff around yesterday and it ain't right. I'll fix it. So any questions or anything y'all want to see? Yeah, nothing hard like clips. Well, nothing weighed a lot. It was just, and I thought they would fit through their little slot, but he said it didn't matter. I guess it is what it is. So I went and changed the prices. I just raised them to cover the shipping and said still free shipping. Because that was easier than coming up with a whole nother shipping profile. Yeah, you go to the thrift store and buy a new one, Brenda, or you could go to Walmart and get one of those little travel size ones for ironing your paper. Yes, and then yours will show up. As soon as you do that, yours will pop out from wherever it's hiding. So I think that's it for today. I also went over this after I put these on here. I sealed it again. And this is a little flower that I made. The crafty fairy took it. Y'all are funny. So Brenda, that's where it is. Your crafty fairy took it. Because she needed to iron her wings or something. Or steam them. If it was a steaming iron. She probably needed to steam her wings or something. Or her dress. She needs to bring it back. You're so funny. I really am enjoying making the minis, you guys. Brownies are the mischievous fairies. Oh, wow. You know what? I want to make a fairy journal with a fairy door for the cover made out of polymer clay. Right. I agree, Sandra. That would wilt anybody's wings. I do want to do the fairy journal with the polymer clay door for the cover. With all kind of stuff embellished on it. I don't know how that's going to work. It has to be an altered book cover to work correctly. Right, Brenda? Grandkids and brownies, same difference. They're all mischievous, and they probably put they probably know where your iron is. The grandchildren, they're probably the ones that put it. I knew right where mine was. It was under the great big dust ball because I never used it on the shelf in the laundry room. The thing probably hadn't been used in 2 years before I started making coffee dyed paper. Right. The Not Me ghost took it. See, you have grandkids. That ghost lives at your house. Anybody with children has the Not Me ghost. I do not miss the Not Me ghost. It was texture on my iron. Because it was, literally, it was in the laundry room in the back of the shelf. Because I'm like Shannon Green. One of the first videos I watched of Shannon Green, she was ironing paper in her kitchen. This is hilarious. So and it was, then came back. So she was ironing paper in the kitchen. I had never seen her before. And she was saying things about ironing the paper. She said, now, I don't iron clothes. I only iron paper. I buy clothes that are wrinkle resistant. If I wash them and dry them and they come out wrinkled, I'm throwing it away. I ain't ironing it. I only iron paper. I was laughing so hard. And I'm like, that's me. I buy wrinkle-free clothes because I don't want to iron them. So I make sure the label says it's wrinkle-free because I don't want to have to iron anything. But that was so funny. That video was hilarious. And that was my first video that I ever saw Shannon Green. And then, of course, I had to start watching her because she was crazy enough to iron paper, but not clothes. And I wasn't paper crafting yet, so I really thought the woman was kind of loony because I had never heard about ironing paper. I'm coming from the beading world, and we don't iron our beading stuff. And so ironing paper was a little odd. However, now that I coffee dye paper, I understand the importance of ironing paper. Well, it's in 10 minutes, right? So, well, I guess I'm going to get off of here, you guys. And on Tuesday, we're going to start embellishing our little bitty journal. I am really having fun with these, though. Hey, King Taco, how are you? Thank you for coming. We were just going to get off, but I appreciate you showing support and coming. And we're going to embellish this on Tuesday or start. It's not got the paper sewed in yet. We got to sew papers in, add some lace, all kind of stuff. I'm doing good, thank you. Trying to get some stuff done. Let's see. I have some UFOs I got to work on too, guys. You know, those unfinished object things. Oh, thank you. So we'll probably be working on those. I'm thinking, depending on how everything goes this week, I know we're not going to go live again until Tuesday here. However, Joe and I are going live Monday night on the other channel, Coffee Crafting and Chatting, or Coffee Chatting and Crafting, whichever way. I know coffee's first because coffee's important. On that channel where we just craft and chit chat, kind of like this, but we get other people in hangouts and just craft and talk. Ask questions. That's a good place to come if you got questions, because there's people there, not just Joe and I, but other people that can answer questions. And that's what our goal was, to make it a place where crafters could go and hang out, ask questions, have fun, that kind of thing. Or anybody. Everybody's welcome. So we're going to do that Monday night. We don't know what we're working on yet. Last week it was the envelope journals. So I don't know what we're doing this week. We may just hang out and talk. That's always fun. Yeah, anybody that wants to come and join us is more than welcome. Angie's back for about 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So we're doing that on Monday. Tuesday, I'm going to do this. Wednesday, if all goes good and I'm not swamped with trying to get stuff loaded in Etsy and that finishing up stuff, or not Etsy, I'm sorry, Zibbit. I got to quit saying Etsy. Boy, that's a habit. I'm in the process of moving stuff out of Etsy over to Zibbit, getting other stuff loaded in Zibbit and that kind of thing. So that's taking a lot of time really right now, which is why I quit doing the Thursday lives for temporary. We'll get back to those though. And once I get everything more organized and settled, I'm just trying to do too much at once, I think. Y'all are so welcome. Thank you. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend. I'm going to go on and get off of here, but I will be back Monday night with Joe and then Tuesday on this channel. So y'all have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see everybody later. Bye.